Welcome to Stock Markets with KR. If this is your first time here, make sure that you are subscribed. I talk about the stock markets and personal finance. और इसमें ये वीडियो में I'll be talking about the math that went behind insurance versus regular investments. So if you're curious about the numbers that I shared in that video, or if you haven't, for some reason, if you haven't watched that video already, it'll be linked in the description or something. And make sure that you do, because I talk about something very, 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 very important in that. But anyway, this video is just dedicated for the maths behind it. And I made a separate video क्योंकि मेरे को पता है यार कि वो that becomes a boring little thing. I don't want everyone to sit and suffer with me for 30 minutes listening about how I calculated things. Anyway though, I will move on to the Excel sheet. So this is very standard. This is what I showed there. Basically, our aim here is to show the difference between insurance and investment. See, I'm not here to advocate, or I'm not here to support just one side. I personally am biased because I'm a stock markets professional. I genuinely believe that they are the right answer. पर हम लोग को unbiased approach से ये चीज़ लेना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि I want to manipulate the numbers so that stock markets are shown as, in a good positive light. I just want to paint the right picture here. ठीक है. This sheet का some information was sourced from relax.com. You can see here relax.com. ठीक है. So you can check that out. I think they have an article जिसमें they've shared a similar sheet, but I've changed almost everything from that. So here we can see, policy term 10 years, single, 5 years. These numbers are from LIC's own website pretty much. They are taken from an aggregator who takes information from LIC. So it has all the terms कि 15 साल के बाद ये है, वो है, सब ये breakdown and everything, including this loyalty edition का thing is there in that thing. Now, similarly, Death Assured is also from that website. वो website में सब चीज़ mentioned है जितना भी चाहिए. 35 years, I took it personally because I think that's a decent age where most people at the end will look at insurance products. Generally, people of my age aren't actively looking at insurance as an investment or otherwise. So I felt 30s, mid-30s was a good number. Now here, this is mentioned in that website, by the way. First year premium is 75,392. Next year premiums are reduced. This could be for any reason. I'm assuming it's because of the costs that the insurer typically charges. ठीक है? So this year, this is basically the maturity benefit. We can see here कि we can see the formula here. It is 5 lakhs. Again, this is as per the website. 5 lakhs plus 350 rupees per 1,000 of sum assured. SA is sum assured. Similarly, here also we can see it's a similar formula, except it's 250, 250 रुपए instead of 350. Total investment is just the sum of all these things. So इसमें सिर्फ एक ही है, इसमें थोड़े ज़्यादा है. So sum of these figures, ठीक. CAGR मतलब compounded annual growth rate, which shows कि year on year basis पे कितना ग्रो हुआ. मतलब अगर समझो 331 आज मैं डालता हूँ और 10 साल बाद 675 होता है, then what would be the annual growth rate of that? So that is 7.36% in this case, and it is 5.37% in this case. We'll ignore that right now. We aren't here to criticize numbers. I've already done that in the previous video, but this is a very low amount, I'm sure you know. So this is very standard, no real maths happening in this one. In the next slide, this is where things get really interesting because of how many variables there can be. Okay, so here we can see this is the calculator that I used for compounding. This is the calculator that I used. Policy Bazaar का ये वाला Policy Bazaar का है, ये वाला किसी और का है. This is used for insurance, term insurance premiums. So here we can see same investment as it was there in insurance. ठीक है, same investment 331,709, 331,709. Here I've taken a round figure, 75,000 का round figure लिया है मैंने. I've also taken a reduced premium amount, which shows कि let's say we don't want to pay the entire amount, हम लोग को सिर्फ reduced premium बनाना है. I've taken that also. और उसमें से मैंने ये दिस इज़ 4832, आई टुक इट एज अ राउंड फिगर, 5,000 रुपया. एंड सी नाउ इसमें थिंग इज़ कि हमें अगर एक ही टाइम पेमेंट करना है, तो इसमें कैलकुलेशन के लिए मैंने पूरे 10 साल का इंश्योरेंस, टर्म इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम एक साथ भरा वैसा डाल दिया है. वैसा कर सकते हो, डिस्काउंट भी मिलेगा, पर मैंने इसमें एग्जाम्पल के लिए वैसे का वैसा ही लिया, जस्ट सो दैट वी आर कंजर्वेटिव. मुझे ऐसा किसी को ऐसा स्टॉक को एकदम ऊंचा नहीं दिखाना है जानबूझ के, मेरे को बस फेयर इन्फॉर्मेशन दिखानी है. तो we've taken that. So total investable amount is basically your investment minus the term plan insurance of 30 lakh rupees का cover, which is 5,000 again. Number of years is the number of years जो हम लोग इन्वेस्ट करने वाले. जैसे कि इसमें एक ही साल का है, it's not like we're investing every year, सिर्फ एक साल हम लोग ने डाल दिया. इसमें in this case we are investing for 5 years, मतलब हम लोग 5 बार 70,000 डालने वाले. नोट की 70,000 इज़ जस्ट अ राउंड फिगर ऑफ दिस. और हम लोग पहले साल में ज़्यादा अमाउंट है, दूसरे साल में थोड़ा सा कम अमाउंट है, इसमें हम लोग एक इवन अमाउंट 75,000 राउंड फिगर पकड़ रहे हैं. अगेन उसमें से इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम माइनस हुआ, 70,000 बच गया. सिमिलरली हियर 50,000 का 45,000. 50,000 45,000 क्यों किया? क्योंकि लेट्स से यू डोंट वांट टू इन्वेस्ट 75,000 एंटायर, let's say you just have 50,000 rupees, तो भी you can invest it. 45,000 इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा every year. So again 5 years इसका सिमिलर है, सिर्फ ग्रोथ रेट कम है. So we'll just focus on this. So stock price as of 1st Jan 2011, because I'm a stock markets professional, I used my terminal and found out the price of HUL taken क्योंकि HUL was a hot stock at that time. It still is a hot stock. It's a great stable stock क्योंकि FMCG कंपनी है. It's a slightly chilled out stock, उतना होपफुली नीचे नहीं जाना चाहिए और ग्रो ही होना चाहिए, इसलिए we've taken HUL. प्लस डिविडेंड्स और सब भी आता है, वो डिविडेंड्स इसमें एक्चुअली नहीं इंक्लूड हुए. That's a great point. Does not include dividends, I'll mention, because dividends का आपको additional benefit मिलेगा, वो तो मैं भूल ही गया उसमें बोलना, but that's fine. So इसमें now in 2011 the price was 271. On 1st Jan 2020 price was 2034. So that computes a CAGR of 22.33%. How have I taken that? ठीक है. Now if we see CAGR का formula है RRI, equals to RRI is the formula for CAGR. So I've used that. 10 years, the present value is this, future value is this, and we get the CAGR. Same CAGR I have used to calculate this. क्योंकि see, this 70,000 I'm putting for 5 years, but that total is being grown, is being compounded for another 5 years क्योंकि 10 years का total है ना. So that's why I've used CAGR here also. So these figures, if you see, there's a blanked out column here, rather row here, which has these copy pasted figures, and that I have grown. So you can see this is grown at the CAGR for 5 years, right? I'm sure you can figure that out. And this is the total investment. Total investment क्या है? This number of years into the investable amount, which is very fairly easy to understand. And that computes a profit. Profit कैसे आया? This minus this. Essentially वही है. We can see here, ये ऐसा ही है. मतलब basically it's the same thing that I've done, and that gives us, see, ऐसा, right? That's fairly easy to understand. Now, that's about it for the math. Now I'll talk about why I have taken CAGR and everything. Because in these cases, it's very manually very taxing to figure out कि ये इतना है, ये इतना है, ये इतना है. It is called dollar cost averaging. One way to talk about is dollar cost averaging. I have not used that formula. I've used a very simple formula here because it's far more easier to just understand and comprehend and everything and calculate. So 22.33. Again, that's the figure that I got, and we have grown it again. Now the thing is, these things are not indicative of any future returns, which is something we have to understand, but that's fine. That's what the markets are. Now in this thing there is another very important thing जो हम लोग को समझना चाहिए कि हम लोग अगर ये वाला केस देखते हैं, so the value of the investment itself is just around 21 lakhs, which is almost, it's what, 70 or so percent of our, it's actually more than 70% of our sum assured for our term plan, which means कि let's say something unfortunate happens to you, or to anyone, to the policy holder basically, not only will they get that 30 lakhs as long as it is within the period, पर वो लोग को साथ में 21 lakhs का आपका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है, जो पॉलिसी होल्डर का इन्वेस्टमेंट है, वो भी मिल रहा है, which is just an additional bonus. So in this case you are getting actually 51 lakhs jitna, whereas here in the insurance you are not getting that much, you are just getting this 30 lakhs plus some bonus. So basically इसका meaning क्या है ना कि this ends up being a much better proposition compared to insurance. Basically my view is insurance is not as good as investment plus term plan. See, insurance is necessary for most people, so it's a good thing to have, but only term plans. Otherwise they just end up being these schemes जिससे आपका वो लोग को पैसा चाहिए और आपको end up return उतना end up नहीं मिलता, which is not a good thing. So anyway, this Excel sheet will be there in the link. I'll have a Google Sheets link where you can check this out yourself, और आप भी try कर सकते हैं कि कैसा है और क्या है. That's it for this one. See you in the next.